I'm 82 years old, and I need to tell you the most embarrassing thing I've ever admitted. I lost my house, not to the bank, not to a fire. I lost it because I was too proud to let my son hire a cleaning lady. That's it. That's the whole stupid story. A cleaning lady, $50 a week, and now I live in a nursing home. You're probably thinking there's more to it. There isn't. There is. But it all comes down to that one thing. I couldn't admit I needed help. And that stubbornness cost me everything I spent 47 years building. My name is Dorothy. I'm talking to you from a room that measures 12 feet by 14 feet. There's a bed I didn't choose, a dresser I didn't buy, and a window someone else cleans for me now. Every morning I wake up, and for a second I forget where I am. Then I remember, and I have to live with that, remembering all over again. Let me tell you about the house. Cape Cod style, white siding with blue shutters that Harold repainted every 3 years, whether they needed it or not. We bought it in 1977 when mortgage rates were almost 10%, and everyone said we were out of our minds. The kitchen had yellow countertops that I hated at first and then couldn't imagine changing. 3 bedrooms upstairs. A basement that flooded every spring until Harold finally figured out the drainage problem in 1986. Harold died 12 years ago. Watching the news, I came back from getting the mail, and he was just gone. The TV was still on. Some commercial for car insurance. I remember standing in the doorway holding a water bill and a grocery store flyer, looking at him in his recliner, knowing before I even walked over to check. After he died, everyone had opinions about what I should do. Sell the house, move closer to the kids, find a nice apartment, a condo, something smaller, easier. I told them all the same thing. This is my home. I'm not leaving. And I meant it. That house was proof I was still capable, still independent, still Dorothy, not just some old woman waiting to die. Here's what I never told anyone. The night after Harold's funeral, after everyone had gone home, I sat in the kitchen by myself until 2 in the morning. I wasn't crying. I was making a list. All the things Harold used to do that I now have to do. Change the furnace filter, check the sump pump, shovel the driveway, clean the gutters. I looked at that list, and I thought, I can do this. I have to do this, because if I can't, then what? I become one of those old women who can't manage on their own? I end up in some facility somewhere, eating dinner at 5 o'clock with a bunch of strangers. No, I was going to stay in my house until I died in it. That was the plan. The body has its own plans. I don't know exactly when things started changing. It wasn't like one day I woke up and suddenly I was old. It crept in, little things. My daughter Karen came to visit one weekend. Must have been 5 or 6 years ago now. We were in the kitchen, and I reached up for the coffee filters on the top shelf. I had to stretch, stand on my toes a little, and I saw her watching me. This look on her face. Worried, like she was seeing something I didn't want her to see. "Mom, why don't you keep those somewhere lower?" I told her it was fine. I'd been reaching that shelf for 40 years. What's the problem? She didn't push it, but she kept watching me all weekend. When I went up the stairs, when I bent down to pick something up, I could feel her eyes on me, measuring, calculating. The next time she visited, she brought me a cane, wrapped it in a bow like it was a birthday present. I thanked her, put it in the hall closet, never touched it again. There was a night, this was maybe a year before the fall. I was lying in bed at 3 in the morning, couldn't sleep, and I started thinking about the bathroom. The bathroom upstairs, the one I'd used for 47 years. The tub had this high edge, and lately I'd noticed I was holding onto the towel rack when I stepped out. Not because I needed to, just in case, just for balance. And lying there in the dark, I thought, what if I slip? What if I fall in the tub and no one finds me for days? What if I end up like Mrs. Patterson down the street, who broke her hip getting out of the shower and died alone on the bathroom floor? I thought about it, really thought about it, and you know what I did? I told myself I was being dramatic, went back to sleep, and kept using that same bathtub the same way. That's the thing about warnings. They come, they always come. You just get very good at ignoring them. My son David offered to hire someone, a cleaning person, someone to come in once a week, help with the heavy stuff. The floors, the windows, the bathrooms. He said he'd pay for it. I wouldn't have to do anything except let them in. I said no, told him I appreciated it, but I wasn't helpless. I'd been cleaning that house since before he was born. I didn't need some stranger coming in and touching my things. He tried again a few months later. Same offer, same answer. The third time he brought it up, I got angry. I told him to stop treating me like an invalid. I said if I needed help, I would ask for it. I said I was his mother, not his patient. He never brought it up again. The morning it happened was a Tuesday in March. I always did windows on Tuesdays. That's when the light was right, coming in from the east, showing every streak and smudge. The living room has 2 big windows. I'd cleaned them hundreds of times. Same routine since 1978. Bucket of water with a little vinegar. Soft cloth, newspaper to polish. Harold used to tease me about the newspaper. Said I was the only person left in America who still used the old ways. The windows were tall. Top half was hard to reach from the floor. So I did what I always did. Pulled over the wooden chair from the corner. The one Harold's mother gave us as a wedding present. Solid oak, woven seat. I'd stood on that chair 1,000 times. I climbed up, one hand on the window frame. The smell of vinegar. The sunlight warm on my face. I was thinking about nothing. Maybe lunch, maybe the weather. Then my left foot went numb. Just gone, like it had been unplugged from the rest of me. I shifted my weight without thinking, and the world tilted. I don't remember falling, just the sound, this crack that I felt more than heard. And then I was on the floor, on my side, looking at the leg of the coffee table, looking at a dust bunny underneath it that I'd missed the last time I vacuumed. That dust bunny, I can still see it, gray and shapeless, pressed against the baseboard. I stared at it for 4 hours. 4 hours on the floor. You learn things about yourself in 4 hours, things you didn't want to know. I couldn't move. Tried once, and the pain was so bad I thought I might pass out. So I just lay there, looking at that dust bunny, listening to the clock tick in the hallway, counting the ticks, losing count, starting over. I thought about the cane in the hall closet, still in its plastic wrapping, never used. I thought about David's offer. The cleaning lady, $50 a week. I thought about all the times my children had tried to help me and I'd pushed them away. All the times I'd said I'm fine, I don't need anything, stop treating me like I'm old. And lying there on that floor, I wasn't fine, I needed everything, I was old. The worst part wasn't the pain. The worst part was knowing this was my fault. Completely, entirely my fault. I had done this to myself. Pauline from next door found me. She wanted to borrow eggs. Saw me through the window. The ambulance, the hospital, surgery, pins in my hip. 3 weeks in a bed that wasn't mine, looking at a ceiling that wasn't mine, being fed by people I didn't know. The doctors said I'd recover, but not all the way. I'd need a walker. I'd need help with things I used to do without thinking. showering, stairs, getting in and out of chairs. My children came, all three of them. I sat around my hospital bed and had the conversation I'd been dreading for 20 years. What do we do with Mom? David's house has stairs. Karen lives 3 states away. Michael has young kids and his wife works full-time. They looked up options on their phones. Assisted living, in-home care, nursing facilities. They tried to include me in the discussion, but what was there to discuss? I couldn't go home, not alone, not anymore. The house sold in June. A young couple. They have a baby now. I've seen pictures. The new owners painted the shutters red. Red. Harold would have had something to say about that. I wasn't there when my children packed up 47 years. I was already here, in this room, doing physical therapy, learning to walk with a walker, and eating dinner at 5 o'clock with strangers. Karen sent me photos, boxes stacked in the living room, the furniture covered in sheets, the kitchen empty, those yellow countertops I'd hated and then loved, bare and waiting for someone else. I looked at the photos for maybe 10 seconds. Then I put the phone face down and didn't look at them again. There's a woman named Maria who cleans my room now. She comes every Thursday, dusts the dresser, wipes down the bathroom, vacuums the little rug by my bed. She's gentle, asks about my day. I watch her clean, and I think about all the years I refused to let a stranger into my house. All the years I said I didn't need help. $50 a week. That's what David offered. $200 a month. Less than what my car insurance used to cost. And because I said no, because I was too proud to let someone help me clean my own house, I'm here, watching Maria vacuum a room I'll never own. A room I didn't choose. A room I'll probably die in. I used to think accepting help meant giving up, admitting defeat, becoming one of those old people who can't do anything for themselves. I was wrong. Refusing help is what made me helpless. Fighting against my own limitations is what destroyed my independence. Holding on so tight is what made me lose everything. The people who stay in their homes longest aren't the ones who refuse all help. They're the ones who accept a little help early, so they never need a lot of help all at once. A cane at 79 so you don't break a hip at 81. A cleaning lady at 75 so you're not standing on chairs at 80. Small surrenders that aren't really surrenders at all. Just adjustments, just wisdom. I didn't have that wisdom. I had pride, and pride is a terrible thing to furnish a nursing home room with. My granddaughter visited last month. She's 26, just bought her first apartment, going on and on about how she wants to do everything herself. Doesn't want to hire movers, doesn't want to pay someone to assemble the furniture. She can figure it out. She can handle it. I listened, didn't say much. But when she was leaving, I grabbed her hand, held it tight, told her something I hope she remembers. Knowing when to ask for help is not weakness. It's the opposite. It's how you keep your strength for the things that actually matter. She nodded, hugged me, said she'd think about it. She won't. Not yet. She's too young to understand. But maybe someday, maybe when her body starts to change, when things get harder, she'll remember her grandmother in the nursing home, the one who lost her house because she wouldn't let anyone help her clean it. Maybe she'll make a different choice. There's a window in my room. Faces west, around 6 in the evening. The light comes through gold and warm. Hits the wall in a way that almost looks like the light in my old kitchen. Almost, but not quite. Maria cleaned that window yesterday. Took her 3 minutes, no streaks. 3 minutes, $50 a week. That's all it would have taken to stay in my house. That's all I had to accept. But I didn't. And here I am. I'm 82. I don't know how much time I have left. A few years, maybe? Maybe less. What I know is this. I had 47 years in a house I loved, and I threw them away in one morning because I was too proud to admit I couldn't stand on chairs anymore. Too proud to let my son help me, too proud to use a cane, too proud to accept that 80 isn't 50, that bodies change, that needing help isn't the same as being helpless. If you're 60, if you're 70, if you're starting to notice that your body doesn't work quite the way it used to, if your children are offering help and you keep saying no, listen to me. The cane isn't the enemy. The cleaning lady isn't the enemy. The walker, the grab bar, the ride to the grocery store. These aren't signs that you're giving up. They're tools, bridges. They're how you stay in your own home, in your own life, for as long as possible. The enemy is the voice that says you don't need them. The voice that says accepting help means you're weak. That voice is a liar. That voice will put you in a nursing home faster than any disease. I know. I listened to that voice for years. And now I live in a room that isn't mine, with a window someone else cleans. Waiting for dinner at 5 o'clock with people I never chose to know. Don't be like me. Ask for help while you still have a home to be helped in.